Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the last video in this series that we're doing, talking about the passport bros. I've been really enjoying this content. I hope you have as well, gentlemen. At this time, while you're watching this, I will be, in another city with my family, just taking a rest. So I needed to upload a lot of videos, guys, and I honestly just needed a break from covering TikTok. So I don't know if this type of content was your cup of tea, but if you enjoyed it, leave a like. And if not, I'll be back tomorrow with the usual TikTok bullcrap. So, editor, and I really have to fire this guy. Well, gentlemen, let's continue with this woman that is very upset, as you can see. In fact, you know what? I'm just gonna screenshot this and add it as a thumbnail, because this woman, guys, deserves her own thumbnail. All right. Okay, ready. Thank you for the wait.
Some people.
A 2022 global study found that 1 in 3 men believed feminism has done more harm than good, compared to 1 in 5 women. A similar proportion of men also believe traditional masculinity is under threat today, and almost a quarter of the men surveyed agree that feminism is to blame for men's loss of economic, political, or social power.
1 in 3 men thinks that feminism does more harm than good. Guys, that is a poor performance. We gotta do better. 1 in 3, I mean, I don't recall what year this study is, but I can tell you it has changed. It has absolutely changed. I wouldn't be surprised if 6 out of 10 or even 7 out of 10 men are opposed to feminism currently. But regardless of the number, it surely is higher than this. Feminism has showed its true colors, and we can all see the devastating results of it.
Compared to 15% of women.
Women are really feminism can become harmful when it tells a woman that you don't need a man, but not only do you not need a man, you don't want a man.
I think feminism is the ability for women to make their own choice and to have their own freedoms, and I'm all about that. I think there's a difference between that and extreme radical feminism. They think that men are dominating and oppressing women, whereas the average guy is just trying to make...
Now, if you want men on board, sorry, that's female supremacy that they're talking about. You got to be an egalitarian. Right? A humanist. If you're in an egalitarian movement where it's equality for all, not for men, not for women, but for everybody, period. No matter what your standing is, color of your skin, age, all that stuff, whatever it is, right? That we're fighting for. Cool. I'd be on board with that. But as long as feminism exists, I will never be on board with it, because it is not helping men. It is at the expense of men uplifting women.
I mentioned this in the last video. I do stand for women's rights. I don't call myself a feminist. I'm just a normal human being. There is no way, no peril universe in which I will ever subscribe to feminism. It's flawed at its roots. And anyone who calls themselves a feminist, for me, is just a brainwashed cultist.
Nope. And you'll never get men on board with that shit either. Unless it's one of those bug sandwich looking motherfuckers. So if you want an egalitarian movement where we're promoting everybody to do their best, where merit-based societies flourish, and if you got the skills, you get the job. If you did the hard work, you deserve the payout. Then I'm all for that system. I'd fight for it. We'd be allies, hands locked, together, marching forward for our dream. But until that day happens, we will always be on the other side of the fence, because I know your movement has an underlying message that you are superior to me, that I am oppressing you, and that you should somehow, by stepping on me, get ahead. That is the underlying core message that you sometimes say out loud, but pretend you don't. So no, until that shit gets solved, where this will never be a point at which we can come to an agreement. It is what it is. And so many men have checked out of the system because of that and go overseas, and voila, they live happy lives. And it's those same women with those kinds of beliefs that will then have the racial undertones, the tones of superiority against their other fellow women in other countries, calling them dumb, stupid, uneducated, can't speak English, desperate for money, all that shit. Okay? That is why the hypocrisy is just glaring.
You know, a living, just trying to...
Yeah, you see that feminists are not really, or at least solely, opposed to men, because they criticize and trash and turn aggressive towards women as well if they live a lifestyle different than theirs. So their enemy is anyone who doesn't share their crappy beliefs.
Support his wife, his family, just trying to do his duty. The average man is not a misogynist. The average man is not out to oppress.
Well, I think for me, feminism is kind of looking at how patriarchy, or the system of social relations that favors man over literally everyone else, harms women and harms those that it oppresses, and also to see how it interacts with other systems of oppression. And without looking at it in this kind of structural way, we might not understand how these issues are actually very gendered, and it affects, like, poverty affects women differently than men.
The gender divide played out at the ballot box in November. Political observers have linked the victory of President-elect Donald Trump.
Oh, there's the mustache guy 2.0. There's the dictator. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but there he is, guys. The most evil person that is going to bring the downfall of society.
To his campaign strategy that targeted disaffected young male voters. On election day, NBC News exit polling showed the majority of young women voted for Kamala Harris, while
No, really? Really?
young men mostly went for Trump.
I would say that the majority of foreigners that I meet and interact with support Trump. They feel that he identifies with their beliefs, their values, much more so than Harris.
I don't know if one of the reasons the passport bro / movement towards traditional roles is also affected by, or affects, how the world seems to be voting for populist leaders now. Bolsonaro in Brazil, Duterte in the Philippines, even Trump. But obviously, something isn't working. Right now, the most comfortable thing for many people to depend on, perhaps, is like a populist president or whatever, and it's for very rigid traditional roles.
No, it's just we're rejecting the progressive ideals that they promised us a utopia would be ushered in under. Our streets are full of homeless people, full of crime, people being shot, criminals getting off scot-free. Bridges are collapsing. Our roads look like shit, full of potholes. Every underpass and overpass is full of tents. It's not safe for our kids to go out anymore. Our parks are filled with like hypodermic needles and drug addicts and shit like that. We have mental health crisis. Cost of living has increased beyond reach of many people where they can't afford their homes anymore. They can't even dream of ever owning a home. Car payments have gone through the roof, rent through the roof. Americans and people in the West in general are being squeezed for their every last dollar that they barely have, while being asked to work more and more for jobs that are paying less and less because inflation has eaten away at your purchasing power. That's what we're voting against, because liberals fucked everything up. Because leftist policies do not work. We've had them for the last, I don't know how many fucking years, and society is increasingly getting worse and worse. The slippery slope of like...
Those are the results of wokeism. Again, I'm not intending for this to be political, left, right, Democrat or not. This is just the woke ideology I'm opposing right now. We had the S3X liberation, just screw everyone you want, have S3X with multiple people, and they promised us that that is going to change society for the better, that people will get to know themselves better, because the old system was oppressive and patriarchal. And what has come out of that? More single mothers, an increase in the divorce rates, both men and women whining and complaining about dating as never before, a rise in the STDs, a general rise in the unhappiness of people when it comes to romantic topics. That's the results, and we can all see them clearly. It has certainly not gone for the better. So whatever happened to those promises that some of us knew will never work?
Like, we'll do it the liberal way. Yeah, liberal ideologies, liberal freedoms in the social aspect of society and culture, and yes, hypersexualization and porn addiction and video games and anime and Netflix and drug use and all this fucking shit rolled into one, advertisements and degenerate TV shows and music lyrics and all this shit bombarding a young mind, corrupting it and making it hate itself, making it feel like it's less than, making it feel like it's inferior, hopping on social media and comparing itself to every other person there is living their fake, perfect lives. Half of them are advertisements inserted for selling a Coca-Cola or whatever the fuck bag or bullshit that they have there in the post without you even knowing. It's not even disclosed. You're the product you're being sold to by way of manipulating your feelings. That's what we're rejecting. We're rejecting more of the same. We want something different. That's the message. It doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump or whoever the fuck else you put there that has a similar message. The people are going to want to pick that person. We are sick and tired of the fucking current system.
True. I've received some comments, you know, maybe some people think that I'm like a Trump fanboy or something. Guys, for me, this wasn't a hard choice at all. It could have been Trump, it could have been anyone else. Kamala and what she stands for is just horrible. You know, like the current thing is not working. Wokeism is horrible. This was not a hard choice at all. You could have put a rock and I would have voted for the rock. I mean, I didn't vote because I'm not American, but, you know, ideologically, I would have more things in common with a rock than with this whole woke garbage.
Every statistic we have, from marriage to sex to love to intimacy to happiness to all that shit, is trending down. Why the fuck would we vote for more of the same?
True, guys, it's literally everything that's going down. Divorce rates are going up, but, you know, I'm talking about the positive things. They are all going down, all of them. There's not an exception.
And unfortunately, because the brain rot has reached the masses, the NPC, the TikTok brains, there's so many of them that just believe headlines, that just consume, that a lot of them have voted for, say, Kamala, or vote for the side that literally makes their lives more difficult. That is the great divide. We want to get away from those people. We want to get away from those policies.
The tide is also turning in Southeast Asia. A report showed an increase in attitudes that reinforce traditional gender roles and undermine women's rights. For example, education and job prospects are seen as more important for males, while domestic violence against women is viewed more permissibly. Some worry that these societal movements will roll back the progress made by women in Asia.
มันก็มีความไม่เท่าเทียมด้วยตัวของมันอยู่แล้วอะครับเรื่องของความสัมพันธ์ภายใต้ร่มของชายเป็นใหญ่หญิงไทยหลายๆคนก็ยังคุ้นชินกับสถานภาพทางเศรษฐกิจสังคมที่ไม่เท่าเทียมคุ้นชินกับการที่จะต้องพึ่งพาเพศชายแม้ว่าการศึกษาผู้หญิงสูงกว่าแต่ยังมีความรู้สึกเรื่องของภาวะที่ยังต้องเป็นแม่และเมียอยู่ในขบวนการของ Passport Bro เนี่ยมันค่อนข้างเป็นประเทศที่เป็นมหาอำนาจเดินทางเข้ามาสู่ประเทศที่กำลังพัฒนาหาผู้หญิงที่จะมาบริการมาปรนนิบัติมาดูแลเหมือนแบบประหนึ่งว่าเป็นเมียในยุคเก่าอ่ะมันไม่ใช่เป็นคู่ที่มันเป็นคู่ชีวิตที่มันเท่าเทียมกันแต่แรกอยู่แล้วเนี่ยคือสารตั้งต้นมันเป็นเช่นนั้นเนี่ยมันก็เป็นสิ่งที่น่ากังวลอ่ะว่าคุณไม่ได้ยอมรับความเท่าเทียมระหว่างคู่สัมพันธ์ของคุณแต่คุณต้องการจะหาคนที่มันมีสถานะต่ำกว่า
The Passport Bros, however, disagree.
Feminists might suggest that I'm seeking a world where men hold dominion over women, that men are the boss, and I'm not seeking that at all. I admire women.
To think that just because men are coming over here, that they're all evil or that they all want to use their economic disparity to like take over women or whatever is wrong. So the ideal dynamic for a relationship for me is that we're both willing to do things that make the other person feel loved and secured and feel intimate.
Before he met his girlfriend,
I'm going to pause it right here, guys. Now, some men have these preferences, these, let's say, old-fashioned gender roles. But from what I can see, most men don't. Most men don't have a problem with their wives working or pursuing a job or this and that. They don't mind doing the chores around the house that are traditionally female. They don't mind splitting the work in this way or that way. They really don't. Most men are looking for a companion. They have adapted to the current world, right? Because in the current world, not all families can afford a one-person income, and men have adapted to that. I don't see many men having an issue with that, you know. So this whole argument that women bring up, oh, you want us to be your slaves, barefoot in the kitchen. I barely see any guys that have those preferences. Barely do I see them.
Austin was active on dating apps. So was Pam, who is now seeing a European man she matched in Sweden. The proliferation of dating apps has also been blamed for the mismatch in dating success between men and women. One study of Tinder found that women had a successful match for every 2 likes on the app, compared to 1 in every 40 for men.
Well, that's interesting. Why don't men read our bios? I wrote that I'm a Sagittarius. He didn't even read it. Ain't nobody got the time for that, sister. Let me play that again.
Women had a successful match for every 2 likes on the app.
Holy freaking hell. 50% of the people these women like, they get a match with. And this is considering women date up, alright? Women are not swiping right on the 5 out of 10 average Joe. They're going for the very, very attractive men, alright? I just feel no sympathy at all when women start complaining, where are all the good men? I don't have options. I don't find good men. The reason you don't find them is because they are invisible to you, because you couldn't care less about them, alright? 50%, guys, that is ludicrous. These women receive like 100 plus likes in a week, right? And they still manage to fail. Let's move on to the male one.
Women had a successful match for every 2 likes on the app, compared to 1 in every 40 for men.
It creates just more visibility of how women are kind of afforded to be more choosy. Now there's a lot of candidates, and you get to just kind of, go through.
And that makes her smile. Yes, look, that one point makes her smile. That's great. But when she talks about the rigid patriarchal values and the conservative traditional norms that men are looking for, she was all frowns and like, we need to do better for women.
Your matches and see, and research shows that it takes men a longer time to accumulate a certain number of matches, and I think the visibility of this can create an additional layer of agreements.
A lot of these passport bros don't have great experiences in dating in the West. A lot of these average guys just feel like, man, I'm not catching the attention of the woman that I'm interested in. And they're seeing these guys who are living in Thailand or they're living in the Philippines, these passport bros videos, and they see that there are other countries in the world where the expectations are not so absurdly high due to curated social media that isn't reflective of reality.
Coming out of the pandemic, the Philippines saw a 20 to 30% bump in locals marrying foreigners, while this rose by 15% in Thailand.
Look at that.
While we can't attribute this solely to the passport bro movement, these marriages were overwhelmingly between a foreign man and a local woman, while foreign women marrying local men are scarce. Although the passport bro movement is mostly viewed disparagingly in the West, here in Asia, the sentiment is more nuanced.
I don't think it's necessarily wrong, for example, for like a white man to date like a Filipino woman or a Southeast Asian woman. But in Southeast Asia, there is this kind of expectation that women in our region are subservient and meek and caring and will tend to your needs.
Okay, what's wrong with that? You said nothing negative. Why does she have a negative twist on that? So a good wife, so a caring person with empathy, a nurturing personality. What the fuck is so wrong with that? Damn, man, these femmes are insane.
I don't feel like being dominated. Like, we look at marriage like a team, like helping each other, and we're happy that works for us.
There you go.
There's rules.
Look at them, guys. Having a prayer before having lunch. You know, she says, we are a team. I don't think that this man is fearing of her divorcing him. This is why I will never be opposed to the idea of marriage. I might be opposed to the laws regarding marriage. I might be opposed to, or at least highly concerned about marriage in the West. But I'll never be opposed to the idea of marriage. Because when you are with a woman that has this mindset, we are a team, we are one unit, you know, not this individualistic crap. We are a team. You don't have to fear for nothing, you know. It's the same with friends. Friends ever so often betray you. I'm sure that most people watching have been betrayed by a friend. That doesn't stop you from making new friends. That doesn't make you say, oh, I'll never have friends again, you know. So when you meet a friend and you know him and you know who he is, you can be rest assured. You don't have to worry each day that he's going to betray you, just like that one moron did 5 years ago. So I don't think this man is worried at all that his wife will cheat on him or update him or for the next thing, you know, try to find the next greener patch of grass. And most men are dreaming of a woman like this. Now, this woman is very attractive. I think most men will, quote unquote, settle with a 5 out of 10, with a 4 out of 10, depending on their looks. Just a nice companion to share their life with, you know, have some joy in this life. It's not all work, it's not all money. Most men are very jealous of this person right here and wish to be in his shoes.
For everybody, you know, as long as there's no exploitation, as long as there are no lies, we all have different wants. And if what you need is a more traditional wife or husband, you know, why not?
As for the self-identified passport bros we've met, they seem happy with their choice.
Of course.
Men and women, we're very different. We think very differently. We have different motivations. We have different worries. We have different goals, priorities. So I think it's understanding our natural differences and then having some sort of harmonious synergy between masculine and feminine, between man and woman.
It's been the greatest decision I've made. And I do have my Filipino ID. I'm proud of it. I'm a certified Filipino alien right now.
Am I seeking love? Yes. Yes, I think that's fair to say. I want to make sure that I can provide children a life that I didn't have growing up. I know that my destiny is here. I know that when I hit that point financially where it makes sense, then I will be here permanently.
Well, there you go, dude. What an evil.
Before Legion of Men provides his commentary, let me do it first, gentlemen. This is how a country is ruined when it doesn't care about 50% of its population, when you massively have policies and laws that are staggered against men, when you don't care about them. Men have been shouting from the rooftops all their concerns regarding marriage, dating, women, and nobody listens, nobody gives a damn. So men are finding their way. They're traveling to different places, they're going MGTOW, they don't care about women, they ditch dating altogether, or they just find it somewhere else. You know, if you don't appreciate us, if you don't appreciate men, if you don't appreciate the hard labor that they are doing, the hard work, you don't appreciate them as human beings. You know, all these women saying, we don't need no men, what do I need you for, other than your wallet? All right, we won't push to be with you either. You know, we'll go where we are valued. And this is how you ruin a country, a society, or dating in said place. But now let's see what Legion of Men has to say.
Evil toad. That dating expert is really out of touch with reality. If women are not marrying for financial security anymore, but for love, why are they not marrying poor guys in masses? Anywho, this one was a long one. Thoughts on the episode below? Your experiences when you went overseas? Can't wait. I'm going to Thailand probably in like a week or so, I believe. And it's just going to be palm trees, coconuts, mushroom drinks, nice sandy beaches, cool people, super chill, nothing but smiles. They love life. Weather is perfect and nothing to complain about. I should post videos. I think I'm going to post a ton of videos of that with my girl. They can't say shit because I brought mine from the Balkans. I didn't go to Asia.
What Balkans?
Weather is perfect and nothing to complain about. I should post videos. I think I'm going to post a ton of videos of that with my girl. They can't say shit because I brought mine from the Balkans. I didn't go to Asia to find an Asian woman. I wonder what the hate from that will be. Anyways, sign up to the second channel, guys, if you haven't.
All right, so here ends the video. I just found out that he found his wife. Well, I don't know if it's his wife, well, his current women in the Balkans, which is interesting because, well, I live there in Eastern Europe. I don't know, maybe I don't need to go to Thailand, but I can tell you guys, here in Eastern Europe, bad as well. Not as bad as Western Europe, which is in turn not as bad as America, places like Australia, but still pretty bad. Then the more you move to the east, the more you move to Asia, the better it gets. So let me know what you think, guys, about this series. I very much enjoyed it. By the way, guys, one last thing. I'm reading a comment here from this very same video. A guy says, "It worked for me. I'm now married nearly 18 years to a Filipina, 25 years my junior, that I brought to the USA on a fiancé visa. We have 2 children, boy age 15 and girl age 8, that vastly exceed my expectations in terms of academic, athletic, artistic ability and physical attractiveness. The outcome of my current relationship stands in stark contrast to my first marriage to an American woman, 22 years, where I lost both custody of my 2 children and 55% of all my assets. But God is good. Not only did I recover from the disaster of my first marriage, but now my entire family is thriving. And after 2 children, my wife is still slender. She only weighs 115 pounds, which I think is around 60 kilograms for my European friends." Well, make your choice, gentlemen. Here you have your 2 options. There's a high likelihood that if you get married to one of these Western women, you'll end up with your children taken away from you and 55% of all the stuff you've been grinding your ass, right? Yet if you marry a woman that doesn't necessarily have to be from the East, just has to have family values, you'll have 2 beautiful children, a family that shared with someone who thinks that you are both a team and a unit. Make your choice, gentlemen. Which of these 2 options do you want? And then people are shocked when we men go to different countries, or when we don't want to date the modern, brainwashed, trashy witch that calls herself a woman, And talking about the children, this is, guys, why I say we don't have to lose the battle. We can't give up, all right? Because these 2 children that this person has, they're probably not going to grow, all right? The boy is probably not going to grow to be a weak, pathetic man, a simp that pays OnlyFans models to yank it all day. He's probably not going to become that. The girl is probably not going to become an OnlyFans model or a woman that looks for validation on her social media, that markets herself as a piece of meat. She's probably not going to become that. How do I know? Because the father isn't like that and the mother isn't like that. So 2 people working as a team, educating their children. These children are probably not going to become corrupt. And this man currently lives in the USA. So most probably his daughter is going to grow up and be a good dating option in America that men are going to value and pursue. And this is how you change the culture. This is how you fight off hedonism, feminism, and all that bullcrap, by marrying the right woman and having children that you educate properly. All right? Because if you don't, I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm talking about men in general. Guys, if we don't do this, if traditional men and traditional women don't find each other and unite to fight against the evil, what is going to happen of America? What is going to happen of Europe as a whole? What is going to happen out of the world if we simply allow the simps to marry 14-year-old passed around witches that just want them for their money and get pregnant and then divorce these husbands and raise children that are, from single parent households? What is going to happen with the world? Just going to get worse and worse. It's going to collapse, right? So I don't think that we should give up on society. I don't think that we should give up on the world. And hey, if you don't manage to find that right woman, stay single. I'm not saying you should marry out of pity for yourself. I'm just saying, give it a go. Maybe go to a rural area, try to find women there. Maybe go to a different country. Maybe try to find in the dirt and mud some good women that is worth committing to. but we have to do it. No one else will. If it's not the traditional family-oriented men and women who lead this battle, no one else will. And again, to end on this thought, if men are not being appreciated, we'll just get up off our asses and move somewhere else. Well, we are being appreciated. We don't want to be dogs on leashes, you know, to be working our butts off and hitting the gym each day, only to be not appreciated by women, by society, by everything. We supposedly, accordingly to these feminists, live in the patriarchy, yet I don't see no benefits, guys. Can someone point me in the direction of where I can bag in all the benefits that I'm getting out of the patriarchy? Because I feel like I'm quite in a disadvantaged position, you know, if you ask me, as a tall, I would say handsome, I would say intelligent, ambitious, good guy. I don't feel like I'm being rewarded at all. I don't expect a medal or anything. I just expect to live the life that my father did and my grandfather did, and I don't want to pass away having no options whatsoever and having to work my butt off only to pass away alone. You know, I want some nice companion. I want to live life. You know, I want to have children. I want to raise them properly. I want to just live life, man, you know, and be chill and have my fun and have everything that they taught me is good. I don't want to be part of the dating apps and hookups and just using women for their bodies and women using me for my resources. I don't want none of that psychotic bullcrap. And if I can't find it here, I'm just going to travel somewhere else. You know, I've been in Western Europe. I've been in Eastern Europe. If I don't find what I'm looking for, I'm just going to move to the East. I'm just going to move more to the East. If I don't find what I'm looking there, I'm going to go to a different planet, date an alien, if need be. You know, I'm not going to settle for this bullshit that we call dating as of today. So, gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. I'll see you on the next one. Please leave me your comments. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys.